Okay, so this week's show kicks off with the rematch. Finally, we get this rematch between diehard Eddie Edwards and Mike Bennett, along with Brutal Bob and Maria in his corner. One thing with an ROH show, you always seem to get the promos before the match between both competitors or tag teams or whatever. But one thing I've noticed when watching an Eddie Edwards match, it's about like watching a Davey Richards match because neither one of them sells for shit. Anyway, Brutal Bob tried to get involved he got involved a couple, 3 times, but it still wasn't enough. Edwards ends up winning the match, but he ends up getting beat down afterwards by Bennett and Maria and Brutal Bob. They leave him laying in the ring. But yeah, Eddie Edwards, he fucking bores me to death. Almost as bad as Davey Richards does. It's like, but I like watching Bennett because, well, number one, he's got Maria. I mean, anytime I get to see Maria, I mean, that's a plus in my book. But Bennett is one of the most interesting characters in ROH, and for a company that's sorely lacking them. I mean, he's arrogant, he's cocky, but he backs it up most of the time, and I think ROH needs more. They need more characters in ROH besides your spot monkeys and your no talent vanilla midgets. But anyway. Next. Okay, next we had we thought it was going to be Grizzly Redwood against a newcomer named Kamel Dickinson. Well, House of Truth comes to ringside, Truth Martini along with Roderick Strong and Michael Elgin. Martini offers Redwood and Dickinson $1,000 each to make this a handicap match against the unbreakable Michael Elgin, which they take, and that's what we get at first. Well, Dickinson gets taken out early, which leaves him against Redwood, Michael Elgin. And then later on in the match, Jay Lethal comes down the ringside and becomes Redwood's partner. But a little bit later, Strong ends up costing Elgin the match by interfering against Jay Lethal, which caused the disqualification on Elgin. But this is basically what this match was about. They're teasing more dissension in the House of Truth between Elgin and Strong, and I'm liking this. I really am, because Martini actually had to play United Nations, like Kevin Kelly was saying. He actually forced Strong and Elgin to shake hands at the end of the segment when they came back from the commercial. But oh boy, I'm loving where they're going with this. This should be really good. Okay, next you had the Inside ROH segment. First they talk about the Young Bucks and America, All Night Express rivalry, kind of tying into the main event match tonight. They both had promos talking about the match itself. And then finally we get to hear something about the Best in the World 2012 pay-per-view, which is happening at the Hammerstein Ballroom on June 24th. They're going to talk about matches here in the near future, but they is more or less saying where it is and like when it is. But then next week they're going to have in its entirety the Border Wars main event between Davey Richards and Kevin Steen. First of all, why in the fuck would you give this away on free TV when people paid $14.95 to get it, and once again they had technical issues. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, here the second half of the double main event between the Young Bucks and the All Night Express. It's an elimination match. Match starts off. All four fighting in the ring to start off. No code of honor this night, brother. And well, it kind of started out the way you would have thought. Kenny King gets eliminated first. I mean, because Red Titus was the one that was injured, so you kind of had a feeling it was go this way, and have Red Titus fight an uphill battle against both the Bucks to win this match. He knocked out Matt Jackson first with an Owen Hart roll up, and then finally Titus ends up winning with a move like the execution. He didn't do it quite as good as the Hall of Famer Edge, but it was decent otherwise. But match was pretty decent, and All Night Express they win the feud by winning. They won the rubber match, so I guess you could say they won this feud. Okay, final thoughts for this week. I thought the Edwards and Bennett was okay. I mean, Eddie Edwards he bores me to shit, but anyway. But I really like what they're doing with this Michael Elgin, Roderick Strong thing, teasing them dissension. I think eventually they're gonna end up having a match somewhere down the road. I don't know if it'll be. It probably depends on how far they drag this out. God, maybe they'll take it down to Final Battle. I don't know, but I really like what they're doing here with this. And then the elimination match with All Night Express and the Young Bucks. It's about what you would expect. Red Titus playing Ricky Morton for the majority of the match. If you don't know what playing Ricky Morton is, look it up. But and as far as next week's show, Road Rage Edition, with the match in its entirety between Davey Richards and Kevin Steen. Why in the hell would you give this away on free TV? I'm just saying here. I mean, hell, don't even why even pay for the pay-per-view if you know you're gonna get it 2 weeks later on television? Anyway, let me know what you thought down below. This is Marvelous Mark signing off for now. Goodbye.